Hello everybody, my name is NecroVMX. Welcome to my channel and you are listening to Potato Cast. I got a lot to talk about. Well, really just one subject to talk about, and you probably already got an idea from the title. But first I want to get your questions and comments from last week out of the way. Well, that's actually 2 weeks ago because we had the stream last week and I didn't do an episode. So, last episode really. Also, it seems that there's comments awaiting approval. Just NCS Sound said lovely. Alright, well, I'm not going to prove that because that's a spammy comment anyway. Alright, let me sort this newest first. Alright, here we go. Alright, the Bearded Lord said, hashtag PotatoCast. Hey, Necro, I was watching your Shadowgate playthrough the other day, and I want to know if you'll ever play the next game of the series in the future. And about the TV/Netflix reviews, it would be awesome. I would like to hear your thoughts about Sherlock. It's just a thought. Not saying I'll do it, not saying I won't. Just kind of a thought that's been bobbing around in my head. As for Shadowgate, was a game that I really enjoyed on the NES. For whatever reason, I enjoyed it, and I never really thought about doing the sequels. I believe, I'm not sure about this. I'm actually looking into it right now. But I believe the next game is called Beyond Shadowgate, and it was it came out for like TurboGrafx 16 or something. And it was a very, okay, so 2 sequels. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Beyond Shadowgate was on the TurboGrafx, and then Shadowgate 64 Trials of the Four Towers. And then Shadowgate Rising was gonna be a thing, but they didn't do it. So, Shadowgate was fun, but Beyond Shadowgate on TurboGrafx 16, I've seen it, and it's a very different style of game, and it didn't seem all that interesting to me. And really the thing is about the reason that I did Shadowgate on the NES as a Let's Play was because I know exactly how to get through that game, whereas I really don't know much about the sequels. So I don't see that happening anytime soon, sorry to say. Armageddon Time says, hashtag potato. He got it right. Hey, Necro, good to hear you'll be streaming on Twitch. I'll tune in when I can, rest assured. Anyway, well, I hope you had fun. I did see you there at the stream. So he has 4 numbered questions. 1, Blaster Master Zero on Switch may be worth your time if you dig the original. I saw someone play through it. It's Sunsoft at their finest. I also watched some gameplay footage of Blaster Master Zero, and it seems that looked like a pretty cool game. If I get a Switch, that would definitely be on my list of games to try out. Number 2, I'd really enjoy hearing some Netflix or TV reviews, especially something as divisive as Dear White People. I'm all in. As I said in my comment already, Dear White People was not really divisive for people that actually watched it. It was divisive for people who decided to judge it without actually watching it. And, it has a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is not something you see a lot. It was actually very fantastic. I enjoyed the hell out of it. There were parts of it that I thought were, very dramatic, and there were parts that I was laughing very hard. And I don't want to get too much in details because I'm not doing a review right here, right now, but I would definitely give it the thumbs up. Number 3, how can you not like potatoes? It's one thing if you're allergic to, but to not like them, they can be a French fry or a pancake. They're so diverse. I agree. Potatoes, I say there's a potato for everyone. If you don't like potatoes, then I think that there's something wrong with you. And that person, by the way, they got ripped to shreds on that group. It was pretty funny. And number 4, who was the pimpest Pokemon? Well, clearly the pimpest Pokemon is Wigglytuff. And that's why he's my Skype icon, because he's the pimpest. He's the pimpest. It's a thug life. Joe Eustace says, I'm interested in hearing your opinion on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I need to see it again, I think, before I form mine completely. I had a lot of fun watching it, though. Well, I already posted my review, and I'm sure you have already checked that out. But just to sort of expand on it very briefly, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was a movie that, as I sat there watching it, I kept thinking to myself how much. Obviously, I liked it. I knew I was going to like it because it's the same as the first one. It's the same director, same cast, same feel, same soundtrack style. So, the fact that I love the first one pretty much means that I'm going to, at the very least, like the second one. But is it going to be less? Is it going to be a diminished return? Or is it going to be about equal? Or am I going to wind up liking it more? And I remember about halfway through, I was thinking, This is tough. It's a tough call because I was thinking that there were some aspects of it that were just as good, and then there were some aspects that were better, and there were some aspects that were not as good. And it really wasn't until the credits were rolling where I said, yeah, I think I did like this one better. But even then, I didn't write the review right away. It took me a while to really compile my thoughts, and I kind of understand what you're saying about needing to see it again before you form your opinion completely. It is a lot to take in. It's a colorful, bombastic movie that just hits you and assaults all your senses with all this stuff. It's a lot to take in. BioPhoenix says, hashtag potato, Xenoblade 2 is a nice choice. I agree they should have some Wii U games ported to the Switch. If Sony and Microsoft can port last-gen games, I don't see why not. Have you ever tried to emulate Saturn and Dreamcast games somewhat recently? And he also says, yes, I think Netflix reviews could be a fun idea. Saturn emulation I haven't fucked with recently because the last time I messed with it, it really wasn't that good. And I don't really have a compelling reason to emulate the Saturn. If I wanted to play Saturn, I mean, I do have a Saturn. If I wanted to record something, I mean, I can't think of anything that's on the Saturn that I would want to do a Let's Play of that I couldn't do on another system. I mean, there are games that are on Saturn that are very good, like Panzer Dragoon Saga, but that's not something that I'm planning to do a Let's Play of. So Dreamcast, though, I've done Dreamcast emulation, and Dreamcast emulation is actually way more advanced in terms of how good it is and how easy it is. It's very much not easy to set up. It's a bitch to set up. But once it is set up and configured properly, it works like a charm. And you haven't seen me do any Dreamcast emulation for Let's Plays, but if you come by the stream, sometimes I do. I think I did stream Capcom versus SNK2 at one point, and I was playing the Dreamcast version, which is my favorite version of that game. Moving on. The Miracle Master says, hashtag potato, how about Super Mario Bros. 3? Would that be possible to do on a stream? And I did say that's a good idea. I didn't do it at this stream, but I might do it at the future. I'm going to be streaming every month. And you guys, the Facebook event for the next stream is set up. And as a matter of fact, you guys will hear about it again on Potato Cast before it happens. But let me bring up the event real quick just to announce exactly the date and time of the next stream. And this time I won't be fucking up and announcing a different date than what is actually on Facebook because, holy crap, that's stupid. But here, why do events not show up after I make them in the Pages Manager? Now, if I go to regular Facebook and I hit on, no, not Pages, that doesn't work. If I go back to regular Facebook and I hit on events, it'll probably be in there. It is not. I don't see it. Whoa! Bird just flew into my window. It's weird. Yeah, so where the hell is this event? I wanted to bring it up and, say what date it was. Oh, here it is. It wasn't going further enough. So it's the June 2017 live stream will be taking place in June 17th. So 6/17/17, June 2017 on twitch.tv/NickRVMX, running from 7 p.m. till about 1 a.m. Now, I say that, but last time I started a little early, and I did run a little bit late, but that's roughly going to be the time. So, you might want to be there a little bit before 7, because sometimes I do like to start a little early. But there you have it. That is going to be a thing. The Anime Fan says, hashtag potato. As of writing, it's 5/6/17, May 6th, 17. Free comic book day. What did you get? I didn't go. I haven't fucked with that in a while because the nearest comic book shop to me is actually quite some time away. And I've been working, so I haven't had the chance to really mess with that stuff. Although that was a Saturday, I had a lot going on. He says, what did you think of the Fox Marvel Universe? Oh, wait, hold on. What do you think in the Fox Marvel Universe does the O going to be? What? Because F is Fantastic Four and X is obviously X-Men. When they named the company Fox, I don't think they were thinking that. Maybe they were thinking, oh, crap. I like anything you review. Now, after seeing a review of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, sorry for the spoiler, some who did already see it, What do you see the Watchers doing if the future of the MCU... What? If the future of the MCU... Also, with the Watchers in the MCU, do you believe that Stan Lee will be revealed as Uatu in the future? I think I know what you're talking about, but your whole shit's very hard to understand. Apparently, the Watchers, the movie rights to the Watchers aren't jointly owned by Marvel and somebody else, Marvel and Fox or something like that. Or is it the Watchers? I was just reading something about that. But I don't know. I think the Watchers thing was just sort of a one-off joke. I think that they did actually, or at least not Marvel or Disney in particular, but the director of, James Gunn, I think it is, of Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 did say that, yeah, that's Uatu. I don't think they're planning anything, because you got to think, and I hate to say this, but this is true. Stan Lee can die at like any moment, so long-term plans for him are pretty much not a good idea, because he could just suddenly not wake up. The guy's old, and he's been around for a very long time, and he seems to be in pretty good health, but you never know, and I don't think it's smart to do long-term major story plans revolved around Stan Lee. I think it's just going to be gags, And that's what we've seen so far. I mean, even the whole thing with the Watchers in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 with Stan Lee, it was a very quick scene, and it was a gag. It was a joke. It was like he was talking to them, and then they just kind of like walked away from him, and he's like, hey, wait, you guys, you're my ride, or whatever. All right, Dyslexic Gamer, sorry, I'm going to skip over your post just because it's pretty ridiculous, and I already addressed it in text, so I'm just going to move on. Heisensoul says, #potato. I think it would be really cool if you did reviews of TV shows or Netflix series. I know they would take slightly longer, but it sounds like it would be worth the wait. I forgot to mention this last time, but if you were still going to bring back Clearing Confusion, I think it'd be cool to expand it and have it be about more than just video games. Well, that is what I said I was going to do if I do it. Anyways, I wanted to know, when you worked in fast food, oh, wow, you're going back a long way. I was 17. I'm 36 now. Holy shit. But when you work in fast food, what are your biggest pet peeves concerning customers and coworkers? I work in retail and I'm a cashier in a big box store, and one of mine with customers is when something doesn't scan, they say when it doesn't scan it must be free. Do people really say that? Holy shit. I hate hearing that because everyone seems to think they're the first to say that. As far as coworkers go, probably just whininess in general. I've seen so much in my job in the last 10 years. I don't have a specific example, but it tends to be more with people who are only there a year or less than a year. Thanks again, Nick, for putting out great content. Love your channel. Thanks. I wasn't in fast food for very long, and that was a long time ago. But like, definitely the one thing that with customers that would piss me off was, just being treated like an asshole just because you're working in a fast food place. Like, essentially, they think that like, oh well, you're not even a person at that point, and they can just say whatever to you and whatnot. And I was never very good at taking other people's shit. I'm very bad at taking shit and eating shit and just shit in general, so I got myself in trouble quite a few times for talking back to customers who were rude to me. And you can't do that, obviously, but and I see it a lot, and then when I do go to fast food places, I try to treat them all with respect, and when I see people who are abusing the workers there, it kind of pisses me off still. The Mogul Master says #potato. I know this way outdated because it was from a potato cast from months ago, but all right, hold on a second. Now, let me make sure this is actually the Mogul Master here, because I've been getting these comments that are like a slightly off here. And yeah, no, that's him. All right, and just like bad spelling, bad grammar, and it usually turns out to be not the person. All right, will you buy the NX when it comes out, or are you going to wait it out? The NX is the Switch. It's been out. What are you talking about? Did I not answer it? Yeah, I'll eventually get it. Loving the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind Let's Play. Makes me want to play the game again, as it's been years since I last played it. I can recall last time I played it, I think I got killed by a cave rat. Well, that sucks. What is your favorite indie game, and what is the deal with Undertale? Is it really worth playing? Okay. Favorite indie game, I mean, not obviously counting the games that I've been involved with the development of, because if I said that would be too easy of an answer. But I really obviously love The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth, the Rebirth and Afterbirth Plus, So that's obviously my answer there. Undertale I haven't played because I'm really not in the demographic from what I'm understanding, is if you liked Earthbound, you'll probably like Undertale, and if you didn't like Earthbound, you're probably not going to like Undertale. So that's all I have to say on it. I really have no real opinion of value because I haven't played it. And my phone went off, and I usually would pause it, but I just want to... Where the hell is it? Oh, boy. Where'd my phone... I heard it! I definitely heard my phone go off. You know what, though? I don't need to grab my phone. That was a Facebook alert. I can just look on my browser. I'm going to find out who's IMing me and why. That's my friend James. Oh, it's a Pokemon Go screenshot. He caught a Skarmory. Okay. We'll just give him the thumbs up so I don't have to actually type anything. Come on, send the thumbs up. Okay. Alright, back to it. S-Serpent21 says, hashtag potato, man with a golden gun and Moonraker tie at the bottom. Moonraker is usually last, though. Looking very forward to the stream on Saturday. This is great news. Thank you very much. Yeah, the stream was great. I had a lot of fun. As for, you know, Man with the Golden Gun is just trash. Moonraker actually had a few redeeming qualities. It still sucks, but it has a few redeeming qualities, which is why I would put it above Man with a Golden Gun. Jordan Phillips says, hashtag potato. Hey, Necro, will you be doing a Let's Play of Suikoden and Wild Arms RPG series? Those games on the PS1 were epic. You know, put me down for a very solid maybe on that. Suikoden, I've never played. I'll be honest, I've never played any of them, and I've seen them. They look really interested, and I would love to do that. We'll have to see how that goes. As for Wild Arms, I've only played the first one, and I did like it a lot. There are a lot of PlayStation games that I think would make great Let's Plays that I just haven't got around to, and you know, Wild Arms is definitely one of them. I was definitely a fan of that game. So put me down for a solid maybe on both of those. I'm probably way more likely to do Wild Arms first, just because I'm more familiar with it, although I've only played it once, and it was quite some time ago. Jordan Phillips says, hashtag potato. Oh, that was the same guy. All right, sorry about that. Last question, Chris Collett. Hashtag potato, thanks for having my back. Well, that's because we had the fake Chris Collett in there, and apparently he got it taken care of. The guy's probably kicked off of YouTube or whatever. All right, so let me get to what I actually wanted to talk about, which is my friend Hitomi. My friend Hitomi is a girl that I know that lives in Japan. You guys probably know a lot of what I'm talking about because I've talked about her in the past on Potato Cast, and I've made kind of a big deal out of it, and because it is a big deal. Hitomi has been a friend of mine for a very long time. I've known her a long time on YouTube. She's a fan of my channel. I'm a fan of her channel. We've talked to each other extensively on Skype, and and she actually helps with Kazara Studios stuff, and she's working on her own game and whatnot, and she's been to the streams. So any of you guys that have been to the streams, her name on YouTube as well as on Twitch is Razlin. Actually, she has two YouTube channels, is Razlin and X Razlin. But anyway, that's who I'm talking about, Raz or Razlin. And I talked about this last year when she lost her job. And what happened was she lost her job and was in a very difficult situation financially with being unable to find another job. And trust me, I can relate to that kind of thing. I kind of lucked out with getting another job so quickly. After 6 weeks, I just got it, and I was just very happy to get. But, I did kind of luck out on that because basically a friend helped me out on this. And, she lost her job, and she was in a very bad situation financially with a landlord that was not very understanding. And she made it at my urging. See, all right, let me tell you a little something about Hitomi. Hitomi's a very shy girl. I call her girl, but she's not that much younger than me. But she's a very shy girl. She's very sweet. But that shyness is kind of her undoing in some ways because she's not too willing to ask for help because she feels bad about it. People helping her out, and then she feels terrible. And she didn't know what to do. And at my urging, she made the GoFundMe campaign, which was successful because she got donations and she was able to not be homeless. And I made a very impassioned plea last year about Hitomi because, she was putting herself in a position where she might wind up involved in something really bad, that she might wind up involved in prostitution, or that she might wind up getting caught up with the Yakuza, which is, organized crime or cartels over there. And it's a shame, because that's not something that I would want a friend of mine to get sucked into, because you could lose a lot, up to and including your life when you get involved in that kind of stuff. And I talked about it, and you guys, I gotta say, as a whole, really helped her out. Unfortunately, and you guys may or may not be aware of this, but she's kind of still in the same jam. And the reason is because somewhere along the line, even though you guys were giving her all this money to help with rent and to get her financial situation stabilized, her mother died. And her mother was living and working in the United States in California. And her mother died, and all of a sudden, a lot of the money that she had gotten from donations and stuff had to go to funeral expenses and stuff like that. And unfortunately, Hitomi's shit-ass motherfucker, bitch bastard of a stepfather fucked her over, because this guy, her mother's co-workers put together a fund to help pay for the medical bills and the funeral expenses. And what happened was, the stepfather took that money and ran off with it, and from what my understanding is, gambled it away. That's what I was told. And she's kind of reticent to talk about this stuff, and I am kind of airing her dirty laundry here, but I think it's very important to talk about, because she needs help, and I want you guys to understand the effect that everything has had and the full ramifications of what's going on here. So her mother died, which of course is devastating enough. Her shit-ass motherfucker, bitch bastard of a stepfather stole this money, ran off, leaving her and her siblings holding the bag, and the bag being the financial burden of paying for the medical bills, the final costs. So she kept up the GoFundMe, and there were still donations, because I wasn't talking about it on Potato Cast, and because I wasn't pushing it, and because it wasn't that out there anymore. The donations kind of slowed down, and I offered many times to talk about it on Potato Cast again, to push you guys to help, to try to get it out there. But Hitomi's like, no, it's okay, you've done so much. And I'll be honest with you guys, I was sending her money very regularly. You know what? I can't even tell you the amount of money I sent her when I was working at Progressive Health. I was making good money for some time, and I was sending her $50 pretty much every week, just to try and help out. And there was another person on there, I forget his name, but you know who you are, I know you're listening, who sent her a lot more money, that he would just donate $100, $200 at a time to just help her out. And when people do those sorts of things that they don't have to do, and especially the amount of money that this guy sent, it's amazing. It really is. It's an amazing thing. And that's, people helping each other out, which, obviously it's not something that we have to do. We're not even designed to do this sort of stuff, but we do it, out of an emotional response, which is helpful, because that's how we make connections with each other. And I don't mean to wax philosophical here, but like I said, then she had to pay for the trip back to Japan, I believe, and then she got a job. So then it was like, oh, I'm going to get caught up. And she knew that it was seasonal work. She got a job at KFC, which is a much bigger deal in Japan than you would think it is. And unfortunately, the seasonal job ended something like 6 or 8 weeks sooner than it normally would have, which put her in another bind again. And this was due to the huge sinkhole. If you guys remember, late last year there was an earthquake over there, and there was a huge sinkhole that opened, and that kind of cost a lot of businesses a lot of money because people weren't able to get to work, they weren't able to travel as much. And although Japan fixed it in record time, it really, really put a dent in the business, and she wound up getting laid off a lot earlier than she thought she was. Now, the good news is that she's locked in again to come back for seasonal work at KFC. That's going to happen in November. But she hasn't worked since the sinkhole situation. She's been trying, but she's in this area outside of Sendai where every job that's not that's permanent, that's not a seasonal thing or a temporary thing, is either a family affair or it's related to the Yakuza or cartel or some other sort of criminal enterprise. And this is something that she doesn't want to really get involved with, and I don't want her to get involved with, and nobody that cares about her wants her to get involved with that kind of stuff. And man, I got a lot to tell you guys. I mean, I'm sort of getting up to date here, but there's a lot that's happened, and this is all very heavy stuff, and I want you guys to sit with me and listen to this because I think it's important. I want you guys to help out. I can't financially right now. I'm just starting to get back on my feet financially, and I just had to fucking drop $250 for new brakes on my car, So I'm in a bit of a bind myself, which is fine because I have a job now, but she doesn't. And before I really lay the whammy on you, let me tell you about somebody that Hitomi refers to as her friend, and I mean friend in quotes, little air quotes. She knows this person who she won't tell me who it is. I doubt she would ever do that because she knows I would probably really, really do something to this person. She knows this person who, from what I've gleaned, I believe is someone who is in the United States military and is stationed over there in Japan, as a so-called friend of hers who has more money than sense, and you'd think that he would help her out. But what he's been doing has been stringing her along. He'll send her $5 here, $10 here, and it's like it's going to buy her a hamburger. It's not going to buy her rent. It's not going to buy her clothing. It's not going to buy her anything substantial. It's not going to really help her. It's not going to pay her bills, is what I'm trying to say. And he always says, oh, the next time I get paid, I'll send you like $300 to help you out. And then when the time comes, she'll say, hey, can I get that money that you said you would send me? He says, oh, sorry, I accidentally bought a PlayStation 4. And I laugh because it's a laughable thing to say that. And she's been telling me this for months now, that this guy keeps, quote unquote, accidentally buying electronics. This guy was going to send her a bunch of money and then saw footage of Zelda's butt from Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and decided that he had to, instead of helping her, he had to get the Switch and Breath of the Wild just because there was a scene with Zelda's butt. And let me just tell you guys, I've seen that scene, and she ain't even got ass. Okay? I mean, Zelda's cute and all, but she ain't even got ass. And this guy was like, he got all thirsty about this fucking anime character in a video game. And I mean, I like Nintendo. I like, Zelda. And I would like to have a Switch and Breath of the Wild. But I'll tell you, man, if it came between buying that and helping out my friend with not being homeless, it's an easy choice, And this guy, and here's the thing, and you guys are going to get angry with me. I'm very angry about this, and I've been angry about this for quite some time. And you guys are you're about to get angry with me. If you're not already angry, you might think you're angry, but no, you're not angry. You're just pissed. You're about to get angry. The guy keeps hassling her for nudes. He keeps insinuating very strongly that if she sent him nude photographs of herself, that he would be giving her money for it. And it's gotten so blatant to the point that now, for to help her out financially, he's demanding that she has sex with him. So this is what I'm talking about, and she's at the point right now where she's fucking considering it. She doesn't want to, but she's in a situation where she may have to, just to fucking live. And I'm gonna drop the bomb on you guys right now. Hitomi is fucking living in a library. She doesn't really have a house. She has a apartment that she's leased at, but she has unpaid rent, and they can't let her live there without unpaid rent because then the landlord might get in trouble or something like that. I don't understand the laws in Japan as well as she does, but she's living in a library because the people there at the library know her and are kind enough to kind of let her use the back room, and one of the back rooms from what I understand. And she's surviving off of food that comes out of a vending machine. And the only reason she's able to talk to me is because they let her tap into the Wi-Fi there, But I tell you, I don't know how long that arrangement can last, but I know it can't be permanent, and she knows it can't be permanent. And she has a line on an apartment that's a lot cheaper that she would be able to also kind of, they would waive the first 3 months of rent because she talked to them about her situation, and they know that she's going to get a job in November, and she's also looking for something in the summer to tide her over, but it's become very difficult. Fucking pollen, man. Yeah, I do have... Is the window open? Oh, I closed it. Well, it's crazy. The landlord was weed whacking and shit earlier, so I'm feeling the allergies a little bit. Anyway, sorry to get off track there. So she's living in the library, and she's got these creepers, and it's not just this one guy. She's tried to do the best she can to get her, her campaign, her GoFundMe campaign out there, and I keep offering to talk about it on Potato Cast, and she keeps saying, "But you've done it twice already. I feel bad about it," and this and that. And I finally got to the point where I said, "Look, you can feel bad all you want when you have a roof over your head and food to eat. I don't give a shit. I'm talking about it." And I told her that I'm going to go into every single fucking detail. So she doesn't even have like stuff to sell anymore, for money. So she's living in the library, and this is a temporary situation at best. I don't know how long that's going to go on. So you might be thinking, why haven't we heard of this? Because she didn't really want me to talk about it, but it's to the point where I don't give a fuck. She's my friend, and the fact that she's been talking in a way that, she actually looked into, like, money that she could make selling nude photographs and videos, and she actually found out that it's not as much money as you think you can make. She found this website that she said was very obviously linked to Japanese cartels, and it was like $113, but she would have to do like 70 pictures and a video, and then and then the money wouldn't get there in time to help her, and she don't want to do it, and I don't want her to do it, and like I said, and nobody that cares about her wants her to do it, and we got these guys who are like virtual rapists. They're just as close as they can get to being rapists without actually touching somebody, where they're just trying to extort sexual favors out of her because of desperation. She's tried to post about it on Reddit and 2chan and, like a bunch of the Japanese sites, and a lot of it is, we want nudes from, we will help you if we get sex, or if we get to see your titties and your ass and all this. And I got to tell you guys, I'm going to be... Where is that phone? I'm going to be brutally honest with you guys about that. I mean, Hitomi is a beautiful girl. I think she's very pretty, and I think that, I mean, if she was naked, that's a thing that a lot of guys would want to see. But that has to be, like, personally, like I said, you can call me an old conservative or whatever, but
I think that, you know, if somebody's going to be seeing her naked, it's because she's made the choice that she, I'm sorry, I'm grabbing my phone here, wants that person to see her naked. You know what I mean? It's between her and whoever she wants to see that. You know, and so the fact that they're trying to say, you know, like I got into this whole conversation with her the other day on Skype, and I said to her, you know, this guy, this soldier that you're talking about, he sounds like the kind of asshole who goes cruising for pussy at an underpass trying to look for desperate homeless chicks to suck his cock for like $3. You know, and she said apparently that's not too far from the truth. So I'm actually scrolling through our conversation right now just to make sure that I haven't missed out on anything. Okay, I mean, we do talk about Pokemon a lot, so I'm just trying to scroll past all that. Because I'll be honest, after she laid all this down and I decided I'm definitely going to do a potato cast about her, she kind of tried to talk me out of it. Cause, oh, I feel bad. I said, you feel bad all you want later. We got to get you your situation under control. Because I don't know, guys. I know a lot of you guys. Would you let your female friend prostitute herself? If you could help, if you could try to get other people to help. So I said, I can't help her financially like I could in the past. I was sending her money pretty regularly. Tanya's not in a position where she can do it. Tanya's wife just got out of the hospital, you know, and so it's like ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So I said, I'm going to help you. The only way I can is with my voice. Tell you guys. And then I hope I got you guys a little angry about this situation or a little upset about this situation, because I want you to know that this is fucked up. This is some real fuck shit. This isn't YouTube begging like, oh, I need a new DS, or oh, I just want to do YouTube for a living. I don't want to work, so send me money. Kind of McJuggernaut sort of bullshit. I'm talking about somebody who could lose their life. You know, I'm talking about somebody who could become a prostitute out of sheer desperation and something really bad could happen, who could wind up involved with the mob, who can wind up involved with something even worse than that. So, you know, I spent like a couple hours talking to her, just trying to cheer her up a little, you know, and I mean, when I found out I didn't even know she was living at a fucking library until she told me about this. This was the day before yesterday, and I'm just like, holy fucking shit, you know. I knew the situation was bad, but she didn't tell me about that, and then the whole, you know, she's eating out of vending machines. Now, I'll admit that the vending machines in Japan are a little different, you know. They're getting like, she's getting like hamburgers out of it for like $2.50. And she says it's a little more expensive than McDonald's. I said, I'll be honest, I'd rather you fucking walk over to the McDonald's and get a hamburger there that you know, at least you know where it came from, instead of something that's been sitting in a vending machine and like who the fuck knows how long that's been in there. So, I mean, like, she could get sick, you know. It's just a really bad situation. She could get, like, I don't want to say it, but she could get raped living in a back of a library somewhere. Something really bad could happen. We have got to do something, you know, I'm fucking calling out the NecroVMX YouTube community to help me out by helping my friend out. So please, for the love of fuck, go to the link in the description. It is going to be the only link in the description. You're not going to see my Facebook. You're not going to see my Twitch, and you're not going to see my Twitter. It's only going to be her GoFundMe page. Please go there and donate something. If you can send $5, send $5. If you can send more, that's wonderful. If you are in a position where you cannot, without, you know, putting yourself out financially, because I'm not trying to cause more financial strife on anybody here, please do the next best thing and share this link out to anybody that you think can and will help. Anybody that you know that has a heart. share not only the link to the GoFundMe, but the link to this video where I'm explaining the situation so they could know the extent of it. Because let me tell you, you look or you read what she writes on the GoFundMe, it's a tenth of the fucking story. I'm telling you the rest of it. And you know what? I don't think I know the whole story. She tells me, you know, I have to extract it out of her. She tells me very little. The library thing, she just kind of slipped up with that. And I was like, wait a minute. You're living at a library? And I'm not. And that's when I said, this is what I said. I'm looking at the conversation right now. I said, I have to talk about this on the podcast. I'm going to lay it all down and make sure everyone is aware of your exact situation. They helped last time in a pretty big surge. I'm sure they will again, especially since, you know, it's not a holiday or anything like that. So, you know, it's early summer, late spring here. So, I mean, please, for the love of God, I mean, this girl's not scamming anybody. She's not looking to buy a fucking Switch. She's not looking to buy a new fucking purse. She's looking to live somewhere and not have to fucking whore herself out to creepy motherfuckers who think that they're owed sex just because they're nice. Okay? This is the whole fucking situation that I know of. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm sure there's more to it. I'm sure there's more to it. I'm sure that it's, you know. But when she starts talking about, like, I'm gonna be honest. She probably wouldn't want me to do this, but I'm gonna read you what her Skype quote is right now. It says, "It's fun being cast aside. I wonder if I were to kill myself, would that too be cast aside?" Now I know she's being a little dramatic here, but you know this girl has been on the verge of homelessness for like, you know, 2 years now, and I guess technically now is homeless if you really want to, you know, be technical about it. I don't want anything bad to happen to her. And she's all the way out in fucking Japan. It's not like I could say just, you know, you could stay with me for a while. I would fucking do that. If you know what I mean? I would say, you know what? I'll take the couch, you take the bed, you stay here for as long as you need. But she's in Japan. So this is what I could do. This is what I could do. So please, for the love of fuck, go to the link in the description, the only link in the description, and donate something. Even if it's a small amount. I mean, I'm telling you, the last Potato Cast that I put up, the one that I was reading comments before, you know, there was about 120 views on that. It's not a lot of views, but here's my thinking, okay? Bring up my little fucking calculator here, okay? 124 views, right? 124 views, right? Times, we'll say an average donation of $7.50. That would be $930. Okay? That would help her get into that new apartment where because they would waive the rent for the first 3 months, she said, but she has to pay a deposit as a show of good faith that she does plan on paying rent. So please, like I said, go over there, do that, share the link. Please, for the love of fuck. Okay? I am, you know, she's too proud to beg, or not really too proud to beg, actually. She's too humiliated to beg. But I don't give a fuck. So I'm bringing up her GoFundMe right now, and I'm going to go there, and I'm going to get the link and put it in the description of this video, and hopefully you guys will help, because it's been a problem. It's going to continue to be a problem unless we as a community get her out of this. This is the last update that was posted to her GoFundMe 9 days ago. It says, "Hello everyone, making an update as it's been a while. Largely trying not to spam, but boosted campaign a bit to reflect current situation. I do hate asking, especially how much you've helped our family out in such a dark and tough time. I truly appreciate any shares and even prayers if you have them, if you don't want to or cannot donate." You know what? She says that, but I say prayers do fuck all. Share it at the very least, okay? At the very least, share it. Almost over the hurdle. I've personally found a cheaper place that is $200 US a month, but requires a $310 US move-in fee. That is my current goal now, as things have calmed down and I no longer would have to relocate with family and pay far higher fees than I can ever hope to afford. Essentially, I have 1 to 2 weeks to really come up with anything before resorting to less than wanted means. Now, she doesn't spell out what that means, but I spelled it out for you. So, and by the way, since I'm here at the GoFundMe page, I can see that Brian Edwards was the name of the guy who has been insanely, incredibly, amazingly generous with donations, and he actually donated today, about 6 hours ago. So, you not only have her thanks, you have mine as well, Brian. She talks about less than wanted means. You may have come to conclusions as to what that meant, but now you know what that means. But overall, the help we've gotten so far has been a blessing and really helped out. Thank you all. Once again, help spread the word. So, like I said, I'm going to put the link in the description. It's going to be the only link in the description. Leave me your questions and comments, and I will get to them next week. And hopefully we'll have a more lighthearted potato cast. But I really, really had to do this because, like I said, she's my friend. And I felt rather close to her for a while. We talk almost every day. She talks about her situation a lot. And I let her talk about it as much as she needs to or wants to. Sometimes I try to extract a little more information out of her. Fucking hell. But I'm also trying to cheer her up and keep her from having these dark thoughts and trying to talk her out of, doing like porno or prostitution or anything stupid like that. Because, like I said, she's a beautiful girl and she will get taken advantage of. I'm telling you guys, it would be horrible. All right, so I'm gonna end it here. It's already been kind of long enough, and I had to keep my mind off of this shit for a while. So I'm gonna put this up. Thank you guys in advance for any help with the campaign. Leave me your questions and comments. Hopefully next week we'll be talking about success, and hopefully, maybe I could. I may be reaching here, but maybe I can arrange to have her on Potato Cast one day. She doesn't like to do voice stuff because her English isn't the most amazing in vocalizations, from what I've been told. But maybe we could work something out. Like maybe if she was on Skype with me during Potato Cast, she could type or whatever she's comfortable with to talk about it. But yeah. So see you guys at the stream next month. See you guys at Potato Cast next week. Please help with the donations. VMX out.